Hello, in this Canvas Corner video, I want to show you how to set different due dates and availability for certain students on the same quiz, assignment, or discussion. I'll also show you how to extend the test time or number of attempts on a quiz in Canvas for an accommodation. So first of all, I want to show you how to set different due dates on a quiz, assignment, or discussion. Right now I'm in a Module 1 quiz. This works the same for assignments and discussions, basically anything that has points assigned to it. The first step is to get into the quiz, assignment, or discussion. Click on the Edit button. Scroll to the bottom. If you already have a due date and availability set here, and you want to assign a different due date and availability to other students, you can click the plus add button here down at the very bottom, and this will open up another window to where you can select a student or multiple students that you want to create a different due date and availability for. So in this case, I'm just going to select the first name here. If I wanted to select other names, I could, so let's just go ahead and select another student. I want to give these two students a different due date than what we have for everyone else. And if you noticed earlier, this said everyone. As soon as I selected two names down below, this says everyone else. So these two students will have a different due date from everyone else. This was the original setup above. So we'll go ahead and click on a different due date. This due date up here is October 28th. We want to extend the due date past the 28th for these two students. So you just click on the calendar icon and we'll just make their due date the 31st. Then we want to make this available from, we'll just go ahead and use the same availability, start availability as everyone else, which is the 24th. And then we want to extend that availability to the the 31st, which is the due date for these two students. So once you've done that, you can just click Save, and that's all you have to do to extend the availability and due date for other students. Next, I want to show you how to extend the time given to a student on a quiz and to extend another attempt to a student if they need it. So first of all, if you go into your quiz settings, and we'll click on Edit here, there are a couple of options under the test settings that I wanted to point out. First of all, by default, there is no time limit on quizzes. If you want to set a timer for your quiz, time for students to complete the quiz, you can click on the time limit box here and set the timer. So for this quiz, I want to give students 60 minutes, so we'll just type in 60 minutes. Also, by default, the allow multiple attempts is not on, or it's not checked for quizzes. So that means that students have one attempt to take the quiz. If you want to allow multiple attempts in advance, you can do that by clicking on this box. You can see that the highest score will be given if multiple attempts are allowed, and you can select the number of attempts that you're giving students. So I'm not going to set that here, because you can actually extend the number of attempts after a student has taken a test or a quiz if this is not selected. So in this case, we only have one attempt. Students will have one shot at this. They'll have a 60-minute timer, and we'll just set it there for now. So we assume that the students have taken the quiz. One student had a problem, maybe they had a technology issue that kicked them out of the quiz. You want to extend another attempt to that particular student. What you'd want to do is again go into the quiz, and on the right side here you'll see an option called Moderate this quiz. Click on that, and you'll see a list of your roster here. You can see that the first student has had one attempt. They don't have any attempts left, but they were kicked out of the exam before the 60 minutes. They weren't able to complete the exam. So you want to give this student another attempt. I'll show you also how to extend the time if you have a student who needs an accommodation. You know, maybe Sandra needs a little extra time to take the exam. I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. But first of all, we want to extend another attempt to Philip. So if we click on the pencil tool here to the right, I want to give one more attempt. At this point, if I wanted to extend extra time, I could do that as well. I'm not going to do that in this case. I want to do that for Sandra, and I'll show you that here in a sec. But this setting here, I don't generally check. You don't want to have to manually unlock quizzes for additional attempts. That requires some intervention on your part. Really, I just want Philip to get in there and take the quiz or his extra attempt whenever he's ready, so I don't have to check this, set that for manually unlock. So at this point, we're good to go. We're giving him another attempt, and we'll hit save, and you can see that that adjusted to 1 attempt left. At this point, Philip can get back in and take that quiz again. For Sandra, we want to extend an extra 20-30 minutes for the quiz. So she hasn't taken the quiz yet. She has 1 attempt left. We'll click on the pencil tool, and you can see everyone, there's a little note here that says everyone gets 60 minutes. I want to give Sandra an extra 30 minutes. And when I hit save, you can see that it gives a little note here that Sandra gets 30 extra minutes on each attempt. Sometimes that's double, depending on the accommodations, so check with our DSS office to see how much time an individual student may need in addition to the time you've set for the quiz. So that's how you set additional attempts and to extend additional times. Again, it's under the moderate quiz. Moderate is not a real descriptive term for what you're doing here, but hopefully this helps.